Hey everyone, welcome back to Bookish Blonde. Today I'm going to talk about 10 different books that come out in October that I'm really excited about. Like I say every time I do this, this is not an exclusive list. Of course, these are just books that are coming out in a certain month that are on my radar that I'm excited about for one reason or another. And I want to share them with you because some of these you might not be aware of and they sound pretty good. So let's start with the first release date. I do have my computer here. So I will be looking down quite a bit because it's a lot for me to remember in my head. So I'm on my Goodreads and I'm just going to go through. The first release date in October is October 7th, and this one's a big one for me. I have 5, I believe. Let's see. The first one I want to talk about is called Remain. This is by Nicholas Sparks and M. Night Shyamalan. So to me, that is just an interesting pairing. And I think it's also being made into a movie. I'm not sure if that is correct, but this is a supernatural love story, and it just seems interesting. I haven't read Nicholas Sparks in a long time, of course. I kind of got off the Nicholas Sparks train, although I did read a lot of his older backlist years ago. And I just think M. Night Shyamalan's movies are very intriguing to me, and I really enjoy those. There is actually a giveaway right now for this book on Goodreads if you want to go check that out as well. It's open for another 9 days at the time of filming this. I'm filming this on the 22nd, so it will go up on Wednesday, the 24th. Okay, so this is a one-of-a-kind novel that grapples with the supernatural mysteries of life, death, and human connection. A collaboration between the globally best-selling author of love stories like The Notebook and also the director of blockbuster thrillers like The Sixth Sense. So there you go. So we have a New York architect named Tate Donovan. In Cape Cod, he arrives at his best friend's summer home hoping to make a fresh start. He was just recently discharged from a psychiatric facility where he was treated for acute depression, and he's still wrestling with the pain of losing his beloved sister. Sylvia's deathbed revelation that she can see spirits who still tethered to the living world, a gift that runs in her family. It sits uneasily with Tate, who struggles to believe in more than what reason can explain. But when he takes up residence at a historic bed and breakfast on the Cape, he encounters a beautiful young woman named Wren who will challenge every assumption he has ever made about the logical and controlled world. So Tate and Wren find themselves forgoing an immediate connection, one that neither has ever experienced before. But Tate gradually discovers that below the surface of Wren's idyllic small town lies hatred, jealousy, and greed, and it's threatening their fragile relationship. So it looks like he realizes that in order to free Wren from an increasingly desperate fate, he will need to unearth the truth about her past before time runs out. A quest that will make him doubt whether we can ever believe the stories that we tell ourselves and the laws that govern our existence. Love, while transformative, can sometimes be frightening. This is a story about the power of transcendent emotion. Remain asks us all, can love set us free not only from our greatest sorrows, but even from the boundaries of life and death? So the genres on this one are romance, mystery, thriller, fiction, mystery, thriller, and paranormal. So sounds pretty interesting. I'm excited to check it out. The next one on the 7th is a new Mitch Albom book called Twice, and this sounds so good. I have read Mitch Albom, and I've always enjoyed what I've read. I need to read his entire backlist. There's quite a few books of his I still yet have not picked up. But this one says, what if you got to do everything with your life twice? The heart of Mitch Albom's newest novel is a stunning love story that dares to explore how our unchecked desires might mean losing what we've had all along. When he is 8 years old, Alfie Logan discovers his magical ability to get a second chance at everything. He can undo any moment and live it again. The one he must accept the consequences of his second try, for better or for worse. He grows up correcting his mistakes and saving himself from adolescent embarrassments. He even takes foolish, dangerous risk just to see what it's like to come close to death before tapping back to safety. So he has this power, this magical ability, and he is playing with fire with it, is the way I'm taking this. Eventually, Alfie turns his gift to his love life, studying his crushes and going back to make himself more appealing. In time, he falls deeply in love with Gianna, the woman he believes is the one. He seems to find contentment. But as years pass, Alfie's eyes begin to wander, which is when he learns a love caveat to his once he undoes a love, that person can never fall in love with him again. Knowing if he gives into his temptation, he will risk losing what he has with Gianna, Alfie must make a choice that changes his life forever. This book begins many years later after an ailing Alfie is arrested for allegedly cheating and winning millions at a casino roulette wheel. As a curious detective interrogates him, he slowly uncovers Alfie's incredible story and its most unlikely conclusion. So this is going to be one that is a love story that's very enchanting. They'll make you think, make you cry, and overflow with love from beginning to end. And that sounds amazing. This is going to be more magical realism with romance, which I tend to really like. And I'm excited because he's such a strong author. I can't imagine this isn't going to be amazing. Simple but cute cover. I like that too. Okay, next on the 7th is a Sarah Morgan book, and it's called A Merry Little Lie. This is a holiday Christmas themed book, so I won't be picking that up until later in the winter. But I have read a couple, I think 2 different back-to-back, last year and the year before, I read 2 different Sarah Morgan holiday Christmas themed books, and I loved both of them. So that's why I put this one on there. Cute cover, adorable cover. Yes, it's taking place in Christmas. This is a Christmas holiday romance. We're following Becky, who's stranded at the airport, and she bumps into her brother's best friend, Will, and he suggests they drive home together. Becky agrees. For the first time, Becky is dreading Christmas, and only Will knows why. Can she trust him to keep the secret? Her twin sister, Rosie, married Declan after a whirlwind romance, and now the cracks are starting to appear. Rosie and Declan have agreed to hide their problems from their family, but Rosie's insecurities are growing. Will this Christmas bring them closer or drive them apart? Then we have Haley, who can't wait for her first Balfour family Christmas with Jamie. The Balfour Christmas traditions sound wonderful, but she's worried about her place in this close-knit family. Will there be room for her too? And how will they react to the secret she and Jamie have been keeping? Despite everyone's best intentions, all the chaos and confusion could derail their normally happy holidays. Can they tell each other the truth in time to enjoy a perfect family Christmas? So this sounds really good. It looks like we have some sisters, some twins, which you know how I feel about that. And this also has a giveaway for 5 more days. So by the time this goes up, you'll still have a couple days to hop on the giveaway at Goodreads if you want to. I rarely win, but I always try to win. Okay, the next one on the 7th is a book by Stephanie Garber. This is an adult novel, so I'm very excited. It's called Alchemy of Secrets. It sounds amazing. This was actually on Book of the Month. I almost rejoined Book of the Month to get the copy of this book because it's really pretty. So check that out. If you're a Book of the Month subscriber member, you can definitely get this already. But this is going to be another romance, but it's going to be more on the fantasy side. It starts with a class in an old movie theater. We have Folklore 517, local legends and urban myths taught by a woman called the Professor. Most students believe the professor's stories are just fiction, but Harlan St. James has always been convinced that magic is real. When she tracks down a local legend named the Watchman, who can tell you when you're going to die, the world finally makes sense, except that the Watchman tells her she will die at midnight tomorrow unless she finds an ancient object called the alchemy, so alchemical heart. I'm sorry, I get that word out. That was hard. So literally with the clock ticking, Harlan is pulled deeper into the magical world in the heart of Los Angeles and into the path of a magnetic stranger. Everything about him feels like a bad idea, but he promises Harlan that her sister sent him to protect her. As they chase clues and stories that take them closer to the heart, Harlan realizes everyone in this intoxicating new world is lying to her, even the stranger, and she's not sure who she can trust, and not even sure this alchemical, I can't say that word, heart will save her. I'm really excited for this one. It sounds amazing. I loved Caraval, which is a trilogy, a YA trilogy by her. I read and loved, and I'm excited. We're going to have a little about romance, a little fantasy, a little historical fiction, a little bit of dark academia, and I don't know how I'm not going to love this book. It sounds amazing. I'm really having a hard time with my words tonight. I had a very long day at work. You'll have to excuse me, everybody. All right, next one up on the 7th is another Christmas romance by Meghan Quinn. This is called it's in How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, number 2. So it's in kind of some series, but it sounds so cute. So we have a Christmas holiday romance. It says, nothing says I love you like trespassing, public humiliation, and a town-wide Christmas spectacle to win your crush back. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal, which just makes me laugh. Atlas Maxheimer did not sign up for this. 1 minute, he's anxiously trying to keep his family's Christmas tree farm from imploding, and the next, he's passed out in the snow after getting clocked by a suspicious, strong bottle of soda. Enter Betty, new in town, full of holiday cheer, and helping her uncle open a rival tree farm next door. Max is convinced she's out to destroy everything Evergreen Farm stands for. Betty thinks Max might be one sleigh short of a winter parade. Cue the holiday chaos. Between blizzards, blown reputations, wildly misguided romance plots, and one stolen ornament with a seriously tragic backstory, the small town war turns into something far messier and much more delicious than either of them expected. It says tropes, holiday hijinks, small town laughs, and rivals to lovers. This is 464 pages long, which I think is interesting because I feel like romance should always be around 350. So, but her other book I have on my shelves, it's a summer themed romance. It's long as well, so I need to give her a try and not let that scare me off. But it sounds super cute. Okay, last but definitely not least on October 7th is The Hitchhikers by Chevy Stevens. I cannot wait to pick this up. I have loved everything I've read by her except for one book. And this one is called The Hitchhikers. With Chevy Stevens, you always get, I don't know if it's Chevy or Chevy, but Chevy Stevens, you always get a thriller that's going to have complex characters, that's going to be a page turner. I don't know. She is such a good author in my opinion. There is also a giveaway for this one. If you want to go check that out on Goodreads. So we have an open road that beckons, a chance for two people to reconnect, and then they make a fatal mistake. So what is that fatal mistake? I don't know, but we have summer of 1976. We're following Alice and Tom. They are set out on a remote Canadian highway in their new RV, hoping to heal their broken hearts after a devastating tragedy. They've planned the trip perfectly, taking care of every detail, but then they meet two hitchhikers. They're very young, they're down on their luck, and they offer them a ride. But Simon and Jenny, the hitchhikers, aren't what they seem. They've left a trail of blood, destruction, and madness behind them. So now Alice and Tom are trapped. They're prisoners in this deadly game with nowhere to turn, and the tensions build, the lines blur, and the question becomes, in whose heart does evil truly lie? What secrets are Jenny and Simon hiding? And who will live another day? A chilling, twist-filled ride to the final page. The Hitchhikers is a rare novel that will break your heart as well as hold you in suspense. The author of the classic thrillers like Still Missing and Those Girls has delivered her next breathtaking novel. So I have high hopes for this one because, like I said, the last Chevy Stevens I read, I did not like at all. It was almost like a completely different author. It was so weird. Let me look up what it was. So I have given 5 stars to Still Missing, Those Girls, Never Let You Go, That Night, Never Knowing, Always Watching got 4 stars. But the one that I'm like, what happened, was Dark Roads. That one was, I believe, her last release before this one, and I did not like it. It was, I think I gave it 2.5 stars or something like that. Highly disappointed. It just, I don't know. It was such a weird outlier for me. But that being said, I'm very excited for this new one. It sounds good. Her ratings usually get like 3.5, 4 star averages on Goodreads, but she's an author for me because I give mostly everything 5 stars. So this one sounds really good. It'll be a new thriller mystery. Her books are very suspenseful, very page-turny, so that is amazing, and I'm very excited. All right, the next release date, let's see. Go back here. is October 14th. I only have 2 on that date. So the first one up on October 14th is another Christmas style book, and this is by Jenny Colgan. The Secret Christmas Library. I love the cover. Christmas, the snow, the library, the Christmas tree. Like, I'm going to love this book, right? And it's set in the Scottish Highlands, which, yes, please. Okay, so we are following Meghan Sutherland. She has stumbled into a career as a book hunter, an antique book hunter, after finding a priceless antique book in her great aunt's attic. Now, as Christmas approaches, she's been hired by Jamie McPherson, a surprisingly young and handsome laird of a Highland clan whose ancestral holdings include a vast crumbling castle. It's a castle. So family lore suggests that the McPherson's family collection includes a rare book so valuable that it could literally save the entire estate, but only if they knew where it was. So Jamie needs Meghan to help him track down this treasure, which he believes is hidden in his own home. On the train to the Highlands, Meghan runs into a rival book hunter named Theo and instantly knows that it's not a chance meeting. She's all too familiar with Theo's good looks and smooth talk and his uncanny ability to appear whenever there's a treasure that needs locating. Almost as soon as Meghan and Theo arrive at the castle, a deep snow blankets the Highlands, cutting off the outside world, because of course it does. Stuck inside, the 3 of them plot their search as the wind whistles outside. Meghan knows that Jamie's grandfather, the castle's most recent laird, had been a book collector, a hoarder, and a great lover for treasure hunts. Now they must unpuzzle his clues, discovering the secrets of the house, forming and breaking alliances in a race against time. It says, a treat for book lovers and treasure hunters alike, the Secret Christmas Library serves up a delicious mystery with a hint of romance and plenty of holiday spirit. Doesn't that sound so perfect? Book about books, Scotland, romance, Christmas, mystery, clues, treasure hunting. Yes, please. This is like the perfect Christmas book for me. So I'm definitely going to be picking that up soon, or this winter. Next one on the 14th is, I don't know. We'll see. This is a book written by Reese Witherspoon, which is why I put it on my anticipated list, because I love her as an actress. She has her book club, and she's writing this one with Harlan Corban, who is a very prolific author. I've only read a couple titles by him, but he's also in a lot of his series and books are made to like TV movies. So I'm just more really intrigued on what's going to happen here. So far, it already has 45 ratings on Goodreads, and it's got a 4.18, which is pretty solid. This is a mystery thriller. It's a suspense novel that combines storytelling talents of Reese Witherspoon and best-selling author Harlan Corban. We're following Maggie McCabe, and she's teetering on the brink. A highly skilled and renowned Army combat surgeon, she has always lived life on the edge where she could make the most impact, and it was all going to plan until it wasn't. So I love that we have a female Army combat surgeon as our main female character. It says, upside down after devastating secrets of tragedies leads to her medical license being revoked, Maggie has lost her purpose, but not her nerve or her passion. At her lowest point, she's thrown a lifeline by a former colleague, an elite plastic surgeon whose anonymous clientele demand the best care money can buy, and absolute discretion. So halfway across the globe, sequestered in the lap of luxury and cutting-edge technology, one of the world's most mysterious men requires unconventional medical assistance. Desperate and one of the few surgeons in the world skilled enough to take this job, Maggie enters his realm of unspeakable opulence and fulfills her end of the agreement. But when the patient suddenly disappears while under her care, Maggie must become a fugitive herself, or she will be the next one who is ... So let's see what happens. This sounds amazing. It's only 352 pages. I feel like this is going to be a really quick, bingeable read, and I'm excited to check it out for sure. All right. We only have 2 more for October that I want to talk about today. One is, they're both October 21st. We have another Christmas book. I must have been in a mood when I was looking for these. This is called Big Nick Energy, which the title definitely caught my attention. Kristin Bailey, adorable cover. We have one woman, 2 Santas, or 2 Nicks, and a Christmas season that's about to get very complicated. So we have a love triangle which I'm excited about. It's a laugh out loud festive rom-com for fans of Love Actually and The Holiday. I love both those Christmas movies, so that's definitely why this is on my radar. We have librarian Kay. She bumps into her ex-boyfriend Nick at the Christmas market, and she thinks fate has finally given her a second chance with her first big love. But then she gets spectacularly tangled in a Christmas tree netting machine. Oh, God. And meets another Nick entirely. One who cuts her free, dresses her wounds, and makes her pulse race in ways that thoroughly confuse her. Finance Nick is successful, settled, and ready to talk 5-year plans. Farmer Nick makes handcrafted furniture, supports local charities, and sees a creative spirit Kay has kept hidden behind her library desk. But how is a girl to choose? Soon, she's spending her days delivering books to children's hospitals and care homes with Farmer Nick before dashing home to whip off the reindeer onesie and glam up for romantic dates at the ballet with fiancé Nick. But the countdown to Christmas is on, and Kay can't keep up this forever. Somehow she must navigate London's most complicated love triangle, avoid getting any more pine needles stuck in her hair, and work out once and for all which Nick has her heart. So that sounds, again, like such a fun time. Okay, last but not least for October that I'm looking forward to is a sequel, and I'm definitely wanting to pick this one up as soon as I get it because I loved the first one. The first book was The Games God's Play, and this is called The Things Gods Break. So number 1 ended in a complete cliffhanger, which I really enjoyed. I believe I gave the book 4.5 stars. We have a romantasy with this one. So again, this is the second book, so I don't want to go into too much detail. Like the first line of the description of this book already ruins book 1. So I'm going to keep quiet, but if you are into this, if you read the first one, you're into the series and you enjoy it, just know book 2 is coming out. Definitely has mythology in here again, which is so super exciting. That's what I loved about it. We have another deadly race against time. And I can't really say anything else other than this is a much anticipated follow-up for me. So there you have it. Those are the 10 books in October that are coming out that are on my radar that I'm excited to pick up. What are you guys picking up in October? What are you excited for? I'm sure there's plenty of wonderful books that are coming out in October that I'm missing. So I love chatting down below. Please list what you're looking forward to because there's probably a few that I don't even know about yet. So thanks again for watching. As always, I will see you in my next video. Happy reading. See you guys later. Bye.